Paris Saint-Germain, they beat up Montpellier 5-0, easy peasy. Cavani and Icardi on the bench even. And yet, they were like 4-0 up inside an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, bad stuff.
Big controversy, Gab. Let's start with the...
it seems like we only talk about Paris Saint-Germain when something controversial or bad happens.
It's just
Let's start with your...
You always put them in the quick hits.
Wait, you're about to tell me whether... Because obviously, we're going to start with either Mbappe or Neymar.
Yeah. Which one do you want first?
Implicitly, you're gonna start with the one who's more important for Paris Saint-Germain.
I mean, I think the one that's the most important right now has to be Neymar, because he's just unplayable, and his performance on the pitch on Saturday afternoon was incredible. He was fouled 9 times because they just couldn't. The Montpellier players could not come close to him or anything like that. The interesting bit on Neymar, apart from the fact that, for me, this is the best form of his life. Even the Neymar Barcelona is not as strong as the Neymar right now in Paris. The Neymar, but before you look at me with your big eyes, he had Messi with him and Suarez with him at Barcelona, which
Neymar at Santos was pretty
massively.
Good.
Yeah, but
that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead. Really. Go ahead and diss Brazilian league football. That's fine.
So he was. Did you say tensed in the press before the game?
Taunted.
Sorry,
like mocked, made fun of.
Yeah, in the press by
everybody ganging up on little Neymar.
By Andy Delors, the Montpellier striker, in the press before the game, saying, he's always taking the mic. He doesn't need to, and that's why sometimes people are a bit rough with him during the game. Turned out that towards the end of the first half, he tries a rainbow flick. So if you don't know what a rainbow flick is you...
They were 3-0 up at the time?
Yes, and you stick the ball between your legs and you put it behind you, above your head and above the head of the defender ahead of you, and you go around him, right? Which is quite a humiliating piece of skill if you're the defender, and pretty awesome if you're the attacker and you can do it.
And it's generally, I mean, for those who are baseball fans, there's certain rules in baseball that you don't do, like you don't steal if you're more than X amount of runs up after the 50. You don't do this crap in games.
So a bit of sportsmanship. Some people say Neymar
shouldn't
showboat so much.
Yes.
And a lot of people say, this is football. Why not? If he can do it, do it. If he's good enough to do it, do it. The thing
you're
is,
needlessly humiliating your opponent. I think that's the general argument about you don't do it.
He does it. It seems like the ref, though, tells him off for showboating. It looks like that's the conversation that he has with the ref, that Marco Verratti comes involved, etc. Next thing we know, in the tunnel half-time, Neymar speaks in Portuguese to the ref by saying, I'm playing football here, and you tell me off for playing football, right? And the referee said to him, you should speak in French. To what Neymar says in French, speak French, my ass. Really frustrated and angry that the referee sided with the defender, who's been kicking Neymar all that first half, instead of siding for Neymar, who just wants to play football because of that showboating, which I think is a good debate to have. Second debate that I want your opinion on is the Mbappe situation.
Well, let's get to Mbappe. Let's just deal with Neymar.
You think he showboats too much and the ref was right to sort of warn him in a way?
I think whether we like it or not, there are certain mores in football about what you do and what you don't do, right? I think taunting your opponent, making fun of him, I can take you back to an old story involving my good friend and a fan of all Frenchmen, The Matrix, Marco Materazzi, who in a famous game in Serie A, he was on the bench, obviously, because he was old. And he was, I forget who it was. It might have been Kylian Gonzalez or something. It was his teammate was on the pitch, and he was up against this defender named Bruno Cirillo. And he spent the whole game shouting at Kylian Gonzalez, his teammate, saying like, "Take him on! He's terrible! Take him on! He sucks! We'll beat him every time! Take him on!" Right? To the point that then Bruno Cirillo just lost it and went after Materazzi rightly and punched him in the face. Now, I'm obviously going to side with the Matrix because I've taken the red pill.
Of course, yeah.
But realistically, there's no point in humiliating somebody, because when you humiliate somebody on the pitch, that's when they risk losing it, and then they go, and then they foul you, and then your year is over. And then if there's somebody who should know something about missing games in the stretch run in the Champions League, it's Neymar, of all people.
Okay.
I'm not going to go so far as to say he's doing it because he hopes he gets hurt so he can go celebrate his sister's birthday, but come on now.
Okay, I'm a basketball fan, as you know. What's the difference then in basketball, in the NBA, when you do a double step over, for example, and the defender doesn't know if you go right, if you go left, if you go forward, backward, falls on the floor, That's humiliating. Everybody loves you shoot a 3-pointer and you score.
No, because you do the crossover so that you can get your shot off.
Well, you could do a rainbow flick to dribble past someone like you would do a double step over.
But
like
you don't
a
showboat in basketball when you're 20 points up. And if you're in the fourth quarter. And if you're 3-0 up against Montpellier and you're Paris Saint-Germain, you have won the game.
Yeah.
Right?
You have. I just think that if you're good enough to pull up some skill, to pull out some skill of your bag, so be it.
So does he face a possible sanction for speaking this way to the referee?
It was really not clear yesterday because he also threw a bottle of water against the wall in that tunnel. So it got a bit heated, really. And the tension, you could feel the tension. He might not. We just don't know yet. We will know early this week. I don't think he will face anything.
Right. Mbappe.
Ooh, maybe that's even the biggest one. We started with Neymar.
It is bigger, but you know what?
Yeah. Comes off in the 69th minute. PSG are already 4-0 up. He scored a goal already. He's clearly not happy to come off, and it's a double substitution. Sarabia and Mbappe comes off, and Icardi and Cavani comes on. Come on. There's this then incredible, I find incredible scene in front of the media, so in front of everyone at the Parc des Princes, where Mbappe is walking off the pitch. Thomas Tuchel is there waiting for him, wants to talk to him, and Mbappe clearly sort of pushing him aside, doesn't want to talk to him. Tuchel insists, Neymar, and they put their hands up by the mouth so we can't see what they're saying. But there's clearly, it's a minute long, and there's clearly a lot of tension and clearly a big argument between the two. And clearly you can imagine Mbappe said, why are you taking me off? Why are you taking me off? You always take me off. You don't take the others off because Neymar never comes off, because Di Maria very rarely comes off, certainly not as early as Mbappe. And Mbappe goes like, this is not right for me. This is not what I want. And then he goes on the bench and clearly looks like absolutely angry like never before. And yesterday morning there's a meeting between Tuchel, Leonardo and Mbappe where they try to clear the air, because let's not forget there's a new offer on the table for Mbappe, and PSG are waiting to see if Mbappe is ready to take it or not. And we won't know before the end of the season.
This is the Manchester United offer, yeah?
Yeah.
It's a PSG new We're just trying to get extra clicks. Never mind.
Liverpool offer even. And obviously, you know, would Mbappe continue the adventure if Tuchel is still on the bench next season? Can that tension between them two spoil that? I don't know.
First of all, this has happened before, more than once.
Yeah.
And of course, it happened in the other Montpellier game too, right?
Yeah,
that was just in December.
Nantes and against Bruges.
It's pretty simple. And Mbappe is supposedly an intelligent guy.
He is.
You go to him and you say, dude, you're 21 years old. Now, Augie was reminding us before that Marcus Rashford, part of the reason the guy's injured is because he played too much at too young an age.
Yeah.
I've got these two guys on the bench, okay? One of them, Edinson Cavani, is very old, but we went out of our way to keep him for reasons nobody understands. So I need to make sure that he gets to play a little bit. The other one, Icardi, has a mad wife and is himself, certifiable. So I need to get these guys on the pitch because Neymar's been injured every single year and whatever, and I need to make sure. And we don't need you on the pitch at 5-0 up. So how about you share a little bit of the wealth, which is the minutes out there. Don't give me this Di Maria nonsense because, you know what? Di Maria's not a striker. You are.
He's got a point, right? Neymar never comes off. Messi never comes off.
Okay,
Ronaldo
first of
never
all,
comes off.
okay, then you remind him politely that when you've won 5 Ballon d'Ors like Lionel Messi and Ronaldo, and they've actually probably won even more, then we can start having this conversation.
Of course.
Young Kylian.
Yes,
okay?
of course.
But right now, all you've done is you've won a World Cup riding Paul Pogba's coattails, right?
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. But, every time, this, you've spoken to this guy certainly more than I have, but he seems like an intelligent person. I'm wondering if there's something in Tuchel's delivery where he can't make this discussion, this argument very obvious.
Maybe.
When you're 5-0 up, you don't need to stand the pitch. And I'll tell you what, same goes for Neymar. You tell Neymar, listen, okay? And he's right. If you're like, why are you treating me different from Neymar? Okay.
You get that point as well, right?
Yeah,
the club is saying to him, you're a superstar, you are a guy, and then he gets subbed off after 6
For the time being, Neymar's a bigger star. But I will say this. Tuchel can go to Neymar and say, dude, you got kicked 9 times. You lost your rag. I'm taking you off because I don't need my superstar getting hurt playing against a bunch of Montpellier troglodytes. This is all you have to explain. But what I'm curious now is, I know they had to clear the air talks. Tuchel's got to be careful because the perception, certainly, is that Unai Emery, when he was there, ultimately became a pushover. And it's not as bad as it was a few years ago when they would just get on the phone with Nasser or whatever. But it's his butt on the line, right?
Big time. And
so he needs to crack that German whip.
Big time. I don't know what he needs to do, but you could also see a scenario at the end of the season where Mbappe and his camp are saying, like, you know what, we will sign a new deal and we'll extend the deal beyond the 2022 that is now, but it's me or him. If he stays on the bench, then I'm not signing a new deal. And then what PSG do, if Tuchel does well this season in Champions League,
Mbappe's not going to do that because you know why? You know why?
But then I guarantee you, if you're Leonardo today, you're sweating. You're sweating because
Leonardo,
that tension.
First of all,
that tension
Leonardo
then
is so
between the
cool.
two,
He doesn't sweat.
He's cool, but even the cooler, as cool as he is, I can guarantee you now he's thinking like, okay, that's why he went into that meeting on Sunday morning.
Well, he went there because he's the director of football. It's his job to mediate.
Yeah, but still, you could also say, okay, that's between Mbappe and Tuchel to sort out. I don't need to get involved in that. But he knows.
He needs to do his job. He needs to. Well, you're going to leave Mbappe in there with some crazy German guy? Mbappe's a club asset. You need to make sure.
Yeah, but you know, what if Mbappe says to Leonardo, okay, why is always taking me off? Why am always the first one to be taken off?
And then you give him
Leonardo,
the explanation that I just gave you.
Yeah,
and if you want, you know what? Why don't you clip this segment and send it to Mbappe's mom so she can hear it? Because it's very, very reasonable.
True.
The argument is we don't want you playing too many unnecessary minutes because we want to win the Champions League.
Yeah, of course.
Boom.
Yeah.
And we want you to win the Euros with France, and we don't want you to get hurt. And we need these other guys to play.
So that was my first fear. You answered it. You kind of convinced me. Okay. My second fear, and that's a much bigger one. Mbappe is my boy, right? He's Paris born and bred. I love him dearly, him and all his family, everything, all his area codes. He's 21 years of age. He's just turned 21 on December the 20th. Surely, a 21-year-old, superstar or not superstar, World Cup winner or not World Cup winner, should not react like this all those times, right? And my fear is that he's becoming a bit of a spoiled kid who at 21 is thinking, do you know what? I deserve a better treatment than that. I deserve to be more valued. I deserve to play every single minute of every single game. And surely that's not the right way to go.